Welcome back. Story 1. So firstly, I know I'm a disgusting person. I cheated on my boyfriend of 2 years with another guy. When me and my boyfriend first got together, he told me that if one of us was unfaithful, then that's it. He has zero interest in taking people back. Well, like an idiot, I broke his trust about a year into our relationship and slept with a guy. I don't want to get into the specifics of why, but it was entirely my fault. It happened more than once. I knew that if I told my boyfriend that he would end it, so I kept it hidden from him, vowing to never do it again. About 6 months later, the guy who I slept with sort of came into our mutual friends group. It was very awkward for me to see him. Meeting my boyfriend and the two guys getting friendly. I couldn't handle it. I just wanted to put that part of my life behind me, so I told my boyfriend what happened. He left me straight away. It really hurt him. We had no contact for about 2 months, and then randomly we met again at a mutual friends thing. We slept together. He ended up taking me back. He told me he never ever wants to hear another word about what happened, and that I'm not allowed to see that guy, and we would avoid all events that we knew that guy would be at. Anyway, about 3 months ago, my boyfriend met a new girl at his work, Jen. They work in the same area and sometimes have to go out of state for their work. They work in groups of 3 or 4, so it's never really just them two alone that I know of. Now, my boyfriend has become extremely friendly with Jen. He invites her over when I'm there and we all hang out. I don't want to say anything. I'm extremely jealous of her. I can tell she's into my boyfriend. She doesn't make it obvious, but I can tell. Every time he's out of town for work, I feel sick. I don't know what to do. If I bring it up, it will make me the biggest hypocrite in the world. I know the second I bring it up, he'll remind me that I'm the one who cheated in this relationship. And we have a rule to never bring that up. What should I do? Edit. He has no reason for me to not trust him, and I think I do trust him. But I also trusted myself not to cheat on him, and then I did. So I'm not 100% sure. It's really awkward to ask him if he's doing anything after what I've done, but I don't know how to deal with this feeling. Every time she comes over, I just feel sick. I don't want to tell him she can't come over because it will just make me feel like a shit person. If I bring it up, I think he'll just get angry. He has told me before, when we first got back together, that it made him feel so sick when I told him what I did that he never wants to think or be reminded about it again. He just wants to put it in the past. I propose initiating an unplanned and candid discussion with him to minimize the likelihood of deception. During this conversation, inquire about his coworker and observe his response. If he verifies the truth of the situation, it would be advisable to terminate all communication with him. For future relationships with other men, I suggest establishing a fundamental guideline. If you are inclined to cheat on me or harbor such comments, yeah, the insecurity and jealousy and trust is your problem. You need a bit more than spidey senses that she's into your dude to have a leg to stand on. I suggest some self-improvement, namely counseling. It makes sense you can no longer see the person you cheated with. It doesn't make sense that your boyfriend shouldn't be able to see someone who happens to be a woman. Karma is a bitch, as they say. There really isn't much to do other than trust him or talk to him about your concerns. If he validates your feelings, he will listen. A cheater thinks everyone cheats. That's unfortunately the price you pay with infidelity. It instills doubt and worry. Either you both need to sit down and go through some sort of counseling, or decide whether the damage has already been done. Story 2. Before all of you judge me, which is understandable, please read me first. I'm in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend of 4 years. He lives in another state like 8 hours away. We're both in college. Last semester, I had this hot young new teacher that all my friends were talking about, but I didn't like him at first. But then randomly, he started messaging me and we started talking a lot more about non-related school issues. Long story short, we ended up having sex several times. I even kind of developed feelings for him for a short while. He's the second guy I've ever been with since my boyfriend was the first one. I broke things up with my boyfriend for a minute, but he never knew the reason. And he insisted that he wanted to be with me, so I gave our relationship another shot for a few weeks. He really, really loves me. I wish I hadn't cheated on him. I now realize it was a mistake, but I was blinded by this other guy, who now I find childish and ugly. It was definitely not worth it, and I don't know what I was thinking. That was like a year ago. My teacher since then has been trying to contact me again and have me come over to his place, but I've been ignoring his calls and texts. I do not want to be with him again or anyone else by all means. I'm still with my boyfriend and things are pretty good, but sometimes it hurts me knowing how hurt he would be if he finds out what I did. Sometimes at night, I can't stop thinking how much of a shitty person I am. Is this feeling ever gonna go away? Should I break things off with my boyfriend? I really don't want to because I love him and I wouldn't cheat on him again in a million years with anyone. But if I tell him the truth, he's never gonna believe that. Little edit. Again, this was a year ago. I have not talked to or been with anyone else, nor do I want to. He's a very nice guy who deserves someone who hasn't cheated on him, but I also want to be with him. I really wouldn't do it again. I feel lonely right now. He's not with me. But I don't plan on even hanging out with any other males who might have an interest in me. If there was any chance of me cheating again, I wouldn't be doubting about staying with him or not. I know for sure I won't put him or me in this situation again. And I think being drunk is completely irrelevant. You can't do something and be forgiven because you were drunk. It's essential to be honest with him. Share the truth and allow him to make his own decision. If he chooses to leave, it's important to respect his choice and let him go. You made a mistake. And if he decides to stay, you should express deep gratitude for this second chance. Ultimately, disclosing the truth is crucial. He deserves far better. And if you genuinely love him, you would provide him with the honesty and treatment he deserves. Comments. That feeling won't go away. You sound like you do care for your boyfriend and you know he deserves to be with someone who will actually treat him better. Break it off and be honest. And what happens in a few months when you get bored and lonely again because you're in an LDR and you can't control yourself? You cheat on him again? You can't keep stringing this poor guy along, and you owe it to him and yourself to tell him what happened and take things from there. The guilt will never go away, and your boyfriend deserves better than you. Stop being selfish and tell him you cheated. On several frigging occasions, for real? You don't deserve your boyfriend. Blame yourself for being, well, a cheater. Would have been something even more harsh, but I'm a nice guy. If I knew the guy, I would tell him what a bitch you were and are for cheating 7 freaking times, as well as not telling him. By the way, people say the same things on here saying their SO will never find out about it, but they do, by either being told or in an argument that happens. Story 3. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I am a cheater. I've always been a cheater, and I'm scared that I always will be. I know that your initial reaction to this will be to scold me, but hear me out. Is there a possibility that my, and possibly other people's, brain is wired differently? Is there some kind of monogamy gene that is missing? To give you a bit of background, the first time I cheated was when I was around 14 or 15. I guess that would be my first proper relationship. The cheating involved texting other boys and then kissing someone as well. Between then and now, I've been in numerous other relationships. Only one in which I didn't physically cheat. However, I still found myself lusting over other people, or just wondering what it would be like to be with other people. I'm fairly attractive, intelligent, successful, and I don't think I really have any reason to have low self-esteem, so I don't think it can be linked to that. Obviously, like everyone else, I have my moments where I'm not 100% happy with myself. I am currently in an 18-month relationship with a 22-year-old male, and around 6 months ago, I cheated on him with an ex-partner. My current boyfriend is perfect. He's attractive, works hard, adores me, and doesn't deserve what I did. I know that you will want to tell me that I should tell him and break up with him, but he has issues of his own. And I really believe, and he's told me so himself, that I have helped him to become a better person, and I'm scared that the truth would absolutely break him. So to me, it feels more selfish to be honest than it would be to hide this from him. I don't want to cheat on him again, but I'm terrified that I will. I don't want to be a cheater, but I feel like I have nothing that really attaches me to anyone. Is there something wrong with me? Please try and be constructive with your answers rather than cruel. I already know I'm a horrible person. I'm trying to understand my situation so that I can hopefully change. Comments. So don't be a cheater anymore. If you feel like monogamy doesn't work for you, that's fine. End your monogamous relationship and start having open ones. The problem with cheating isn't just the physical acts, it's the deception, hiding things from your partner, and robbing them of their own choices. That's a terrible thing to do to someone. You can have your cake and eat it too, without stealing someone else's cake in the process. No, there's nothing psychologically wrong with you. You aren't wired differently. You just aren't willing to commit. You're just selfish and don't really respect your partner. Your gratification is more important to you than your partner's. Guessing that you weren't raised to value your partner. You don't really concern yourself with things like moral fiber. Stop choosing to cheat. You can say no if you want to. You don't want to say no.